Hi, my name is Dave McDowell and I'm president of Save Our Sodus. I wanted to take a little time in this video to give everybody a quick summary of what's been happening so far this year around Great Sodus Bay. As many of you know, Plan 2014 was implemented in January of this year. We immediately saw a 14+ inch rise in the level of Lake Ontario. That clearly corresponds to a rise in Great Sodus Bay. Since then, we've had a very wet spring, which I think most people realize. As a result of those two things together, we've had very significant flooding in and around the bay. In the past, with the old plan, we've had similar amounts of rain, depending on how one chooses to calculate which months you want to include or exclude. We've had more precipitation or less precipitation, and you can find years that all of that is true. But using the old plan, 58DD, we never approached 248 feet above sea level. We would occasionally be above 247.3, which was the old high water level. That happened in 1973, that happened again in 1993. This year, under Plan 2014, we are just shy of 249 feet above sea level. Obviously, none of the infrastructure around the south shore of Lake Ontario or Great Sodus Bay has been built to withstand that level of water. So as a result, there's very significant flooding. It will continue for most of the summer because due to the trigger levels and the flooding that happens down in Montreal, the International Joint Commission is reluctant to take any drastic actions to remove water from the lake. As it became very obvious that we were going to have trouble this spring with flooding, the village of Sodus Point began creating sandbags. We solicited the help of the local towns and villages around us as well as Wayne County. We received a lot of help from the town of Sodus, from the village of Sodus, and from Wayne County. We've been using inmates from the sheriff's office for much of the spring to create sandbags. The village highway officials delivered sandbags to residents. They delivered instructions on how to put the sandbags up, and in large part, the village sandbagged itself. As the water continued to come up and some of the streets began to flood, we had to take more drastic action. At that point, the state became involved, and that freed up many additional resources that have helped tremendously get Sodus Point close to functioning at a normal level. There are several pumps around the village, pumping water out of the village to keep the streets dry. When the streets were flooded, we had problems with our wastewater plant because we were processing or trying to process way more influent than the system is designed to handle. Things have since returned to close to normal, and everything is functioning much better now. There remain several pumps around the village that will be here for an extended period of time until the water levels recede. All the other towns along the south shore of Lake Ontario also had sandbagging operations. That included the town of Huron. The town of Sodus used the village of Sodus Point for their sandbags, and various distribution channels were set up. As the needs for sandbags continued to grow, the state set up a sandbagging operation at the Department of Transportation facility on 104. Using the National Guard and other resources, they have been able to create a huge number of sandbags, and then they're delivering those sandbags to all the towns and villages that need them along the South Shore in Wayne County. So as you can see, during times of disaster, everybody pitches in. It's been great to get help from the town and village of Sodus especially. Wayne County has been fantastic. The sheriff's office has been tremendously supportive, and the state help has been really good. All the pumps from around the village come from the state emergency depot. Getting those pumps on our own was very difficult, and once the state got involved, they just started to arrive. The county is maintaining those pumps, fueling them every day, doing oil changes and things like that on them so that they will continue to operate well into the summer until the water recedes. Forward, there is a petition online to overturn Plan 2014, writing letters to the federal senators especially we've been told, is helpful. One solution is to get Plan 2014 either changed so the trigger points are more reasonable and keep the water below 248 feet above sea level. Some people think Plan 2014 can be repealed or turned back. In the meantime, homeowners and property owners, municipalities need to figure out what needs to be done to sustain these higher water levels in years to come if nothing happens to Plan 2014. That will cost many millions of dollars around the South Shore, and no one has any idea where that money will come from. New York State has a variety of programs to make us feel better that pretend to give us money. The few that we've looked at in detail all seem to have some loopholes. I'm sure some of them will be very helpful, but we all need to be careful about which ones we sign up for should we choose to go down that path.